Rafa is broken. Whether this is a bug in the game or something that was overlooked, there's currently an interaction with Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons and ricocheting bullets that causes enemies to simply die. If you're looking to walk through the mid to late campaign with little to no struggle, you'll want to strive for this setup. Be warned though, this build will go over a specific legendary weapon that's needed to break Rafa, while not being explicitly required. Should Gearbox nerf this interaction, you won't be left in the dust. The build at some point will need to be tweaked for bosses, though the entirety of it scales nicely into the endgame with grenade spamming, which we'll talk about in a moment. First, let's cover what seems to be broken about Rafa in the early game. Around level 27, you'll have enough skill points to take the double auto shot capstone in the remote agent tree. Doing so replaces the cannons with shotguns that deal critical hits and ricochet off enemies all over the map. This can cause some interesting interactions without the need for any legendary gear and can make things very easy for you. However, should you be lucky enough to find a King's Gambit pistol, boss fights will end as soon as they begin. So, what's the setup? We're choosing the Peacebreaker cannon's action skill in the remote agent tree for Rafa. The double auto shot capstone is locked behind 26 skill points, so we'll need to strategically place them to get the most out of its effects. The first choice is easy. Deft Hands gives you more fire rate for your cannons, which means more DPS. After allocating 5 points here, you'll unlock the first set of augments. Instinto is an excellent choice here since it gives the cannons critical hit chance, damage, and gaining action skill duration when you kill an enemy. To the left of this augment, there's Juerga. This passive is straightforward. Critically hit an enemy and action skill duration is restored. Below these are up to you. We chose to take defensive nodes as that becomes more and more important as the game progresses. After you've allocated 15 points into the top branch, you'll unlock 3 lower branches. We'll be putting the next set of points into the far left branch. The nodes we chose are giving indirect projectiles more damage, lifesteal, and more chance to ricochet. Keep in mind that indirect projectiles are any projectiles that do not come from the gun you have equipped. This means the cannons and even guns that you throw when reloading. After putting 10 points into this branch, you'll finally unlock double auto shot. Now that you have it unlocked, you'll see a massive performance increase in Rafa's damage output and overall uptime of the Peacebreaker cannons. But what about that broken interaction we talked about earlier?
This is where the fun begins.
King's Gambit is a Jacob's pistol with some Tediore flair. Reloading throws the guns and sends out an orb that's begging to be shot. Any kind of projectiles that hit this will ricochet. And man, when those cannons ricochet off this thing, everything just dies. The setup is simple. You activate the action skill, shoot a bullet from the gun, reload by tossing the weapon towards enemies, and then watch the sparks fly. Let's check out an example from this early-ish boss.
I'm tired of aiming.
Where did he go? Yeah, he just got deleted. Now, for some bosses, this can be tricky when they move around too much, have mechanics you need to bypass, as well as phases of boss battles. Rest assured though, you can skip the length of a boss phase doing this when it hits just right. Enemies that spawn all around you will be killed quickly without you ever needing to look at them. Now, let's talk about endgame scaling. As with any Borderlands game, enemies and bosses start to get a bit tougher to deal with, and some of your strategies need to be shaken up in order to keep yourself in line with everything. This build can easily ditch King's Gambit at any point, to have a focus on spamming grenades to clear the screen during any fight. There are many avenues in the game to increase grenade damage, as well as the cooldown of grenades. You're not locked to adding passive skills to the tree of your action skill of choice. For grenade cooldown and power increase, you'll want to invest some points into the people-person tree. The first 5 points aren't crucial, so you can pick which nodes at the top you wish to allocate. After 5 points, you'll want to spend the next 10 points on Arriba and Abajo. Arriba gives you a great deal of ordnance cooldown when you kill an enemy. Couple this with Abajo that gives you action skill cooldown, and the two will start to balance each other out very nicely. At the end game, you unlock specializations. These are unlocked by leveling up separately from character level, though you level up specializations the same way. Earn XP by killing enemies and doing quests. allocate points where you need them. For this build, we beeline it to Gadgeteer for Ordnance cooldown. You can invest infinitely into this node as you gain specialization levels. First, you'll need to invest 10 points into Survivor and then 10 points into Brute. Once you do, you'll unlock Gadgeteer. As you invest in Gadgeteer, you'll unlock more bonuses to your grenades, like more cooldown when you activate your action skill. See the pattern? Throw a grenade, get an action skill. Throw an action skill, get a grenade. Full spectrum arsenal is key as well, as it'll allow you to scale grenade damage with anything that scales gun damage at 50% of its value. Once you're feeling good about your grenade's uptime, you can start investing all your specialization points into Brute to infinitely scale the damage of your grenades. And that's it! You're on the road to throwing grenades until the end of time. For more Borderlands 4, stick with IGN.